Okay, we're here. Start your stream.
You're lying. I gotta put spectacles on because I can't see.
So why this side and you're that side?
Because it's called reverse. It's like a mirror. All right. Are we live streaming? Yeah. We on
You are right for
2 seconds.
life already?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, I'm gonna move inside a little bit. Because you are the star of the show.
I am not the star. I'm blind as a bat. It's what I am.
You are the star of the show.
All right.
We're here to ask questions.
Okay. Do your introduction, madam.
I don't know. It's not 2 o'clock yet.
But we're still live.
Almost. Okay. So hello everyone. Welcome to the SP Ambience Luxury. My name is Jenny, and this is our mentor today.
Hello, hello, hello.
She's gonna be teaching us how to take care of our mental health as it relates to our marriages and our relationships.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Nakitta McLean. I'm a licensed therapist in Baltimore, Maryland. I actually have my own private practice called McLean's Couch Therapeutic Services. Google us if you want services. The company is me and my husband. So you have a male and female therapist. And what else? Uh, we work with the community. We're really great at what we do. We give you unconventional therapeutic interventions to assist in your daily life issues.
Okay, so how do we as women, because a lot of responsibilities are bestowed on us.
Mm-hmm.
We are caretakers, we are nurturers, we are mothers, we are wives, we are sometimes the breadwinner too.
The all around
Oh
handy.
yeah. So how do we take care of our mental health?
Well, oftentimes when you're in relationships and in marriages with family, we tend to lose ourselves. And sometimes we don't know how we got lost.
Mhm.
The number one thing that I can say is self care. You have to take time out for yourself as a woman, as a human. It's not just women, but people in general. When you become so consumed with living life, you have to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
As a mom, once every 2 weeks, I
Mhm.
would take a day just for myself.
Mhm.
I would do a pamper me day. Um, Oftentimes being a mother of multiple children, um, I would always have one kid at home.
Mhm.
So it was very difficult for me to do that.
Mhm.
And on those days, my husband would say, baby, here, go do you. I got the kid because my son was attached to my hip. He didn't want to go anywhere. Um, so I would literally take 24 hours just to myself,
Mhm.
do a spa day, reading, do things that I like to do brunch with the girls, go out. Even if in between those 2 weeks, sometimes you just need that space because work can be consuming. And nowadays, we don't live in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s where the husband went out and worked and the woman stayed at home and did Tupperware parties and all of that. Those were still back then things to do mentally. But now it takes two incomes to run a household
Mhm.
due to inflation. One person can't just go out and work, not unless they're making somewhere close to six figures, because the economy doesn't allot for it. Food going up, gas going up. So two people work in the household. And then you have to have time for that relationship as well as just for yourself.
Mhm.
Then you have your kids, their sporting events,
Mhm.
just going above and beyond,
Mhm.
and then you're sitting back looking at yourself and saying, damn, where did my life go? Oh my God, I'm so anxious. You start developing all types of mental health issues, insecurities because you've let yourself go. You start developing anxiety because of all of the stress and worrying about what needs to be done next. You feel like you're all alone, even though your spouse is there. it becomes a lot.
Mhm.
So taking those mental health days are extremely important. And even if you don't have the financial means to go to a spa or to do a brunch, you can do it at home.
Mhm.
It's just that simple. You run yourself a bath, sit in the tub, get you some bath bombs, light some candles, put on some Sade, some soft music, whatever you like, and just relax. Get you
What
some cucumbers, do your own face mask.
what are the children calling you, ma? What is the salt? What is the pepper? Then your husband not calling you, honey, come fry some egg for me. Come cook some rice for me.
Put that note on that door. It can be handwritten, it can be typed, but you give them notice that you resign from your position for that day. Kids, of course, they don't listen. Mommy is off duty. It's not my shift. Go tell your father.
Uh-huh.
But again, if you have supports, because I do know a lot of us do have those supports where we have the grandparents that will take the kids for the weekend,
Uh-huh.
on either side. If you don't, but I do know a lot of women who don't have those supports. For those women who are out here doing it by themselves, join a mommy and me group.
Uh-huh.
Get a group of your friends together where you guys have kids, and you guys can be each other's baby daddy. Like I did have a few friends, like my best friend Jazz, when our kids were in middle school and high school, she was the wrestling mom, I was the football mom. She took care of everything for wrestling, I
Wrestling,
took care of
okay.
everything for football. So whether it was buying the cleats, the extra equipment, doing the football mom thing, I had to do all of that. And trust and believe, guys, I am not that girl.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to. I'm the type. How much do I need to pay? I wasn't the one to make sandwiches, but that's what my son wanted. So of course, as a mom, that's what I did. But it alleviated a lot of the stress when we had dual families and we operated as one co-op. So if I needed a weekend, and she's also the godmother of my last two children, I needed a weekend. I say, yeah, girl, you got to get these kids because one of us ain't gonna make it this weekend. So she'll laugh. She knew what that meant, and she'd be like, "All right, I'll take the kids for the weekend." She'll take them, and then I have a whole weekend just to myself. But this is when my children were a little older. When they were younger, I didn't have this. It was just me. Like my mom would take the kids, his mom would take him, but I always had one. My oldest daughter would go with her father's family. So my other kids were gone. I still
Mhm.
had one, but I made it work with that self care. Put him down for a nap. I do a whole little spa thing for myself to give myself a breather.
Mhm.
Um, Again, now we have TikTok and all of those things you can do. Go on there and Google day spa at home. Give yourself some suggestions, but it is extremely important for you to do self care. Also, another thing, take a vacation.
Vacation.
Not with the family. It could be you and your spouse.
Mhm.
Have your mate.
Mhm.
Your mate and you should be continuing to date.
Mhm.
That is something else that helps you mentally is
Mhm.
the continuous dating. Going out with your girls,
Mhm.
realizing who you are. Don't get lost
Mhm.
in your role as a mom,
Mhm.
as a wife, as a staff member.
Mhm.
The number one role that you have to always maintain is you are a woman before all of those things,
Yeah.
and you have needs, you have wants. Don't just consume yourself saying, oh, well, I decided to be a wife and a mother. This comes first. No, baby, you come first. You definitely come first because if you're not well, if you're sick, if your mental health isn't on point, how can you take care of anyone else?
Mhm.
Don't burn yourself out. And burnout is real. Burnout is a real thing.
Okay. So moving on, how do somebody asked me this question 2 days ago. Is it fair to cheat on a cheating spouse?
Is it fair to cheat on a cheating spouse? There's no such thing as fair. There literally is no such thing as fair. Especially as a grown up. If you haven't learned that life ain't fair, then I don't know what to tell you. But is it okay to cheat on a cheating spouse? Do you, boo boo? Because me personally, it depends on where you are. Some people are vengeful and some are not. Now, it depends on which day of the week you might catch me. If I found out my man was cheating, if I'm feeling reckless, then yes, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it a lot better than you. And I'm going to make sure that you walk in and see what you need to see so you can leave. Unlike you, I'm not going to be sneaky or shady about it. I'm going to make it known. So that way, when you come, you don't ever want to come back this way again because you know how vengeful. Because there's hell has no fury like a woman's scorn.
But some people will be like, why cheating on him? You should leave instead of cheating on him.
And that would be
Especially African women.
And that would be the second half of me. One part of me would be like, oh no, you're going to feel what you wanted me to feel. I'm going to give you that times 10. I don't need karma or Jesus right now to take the wheel because I'm going to take this wheel and you're going to feel it. However, the other part of me is like, you know what? It's not even worth it because if you can't appreciate my presence, you will definitely feel my absence. And then I have to think about what type of woman what type of example do I want to be for my kids? Sometimes that does come into play. I mean, it's a conflicting choice. Either way, you can't say if it's right or wrong. It's just who you are. It's what you want. Because again, I know women who would do both. And no woman truly knows what she would do until she's in that predicament. We can say, girl, I'll leave, or girl, I'm going to stay, I'm going to confront, I'm going to do that. No, you don't know because you don't know exactly what you are feeling. You don't even know your emotional state. If you're with this man, there are so many variables that come into play. This man is cheating on you. You may have been like, well, good, because now that's my exit energy because I didn't want him anyway. I was over this. Oh, or you may be so in love and so hurt that you decide that yes, I need to get my lick back. I need my get back. I'm not going to wait for karma. So the question is it fair? There is no such thing as fair. It all depends on what you feel you should do in that moment. But every action has a reaction, and every action has consequences, whether they're good or bad. Before you make a move, you need to ensure that you can live with the consequences. And I mean, plan out all the consequences. This person that you're cheating with, are they safe? Do they have HIV? Or is there a chance you could get pregnant? If you got pregnant, what are the options? Like, okay, if this man finds out you cheating on him, what is the likelihood of him killing either one of you guys? So there are consequences, and you really need to face all of it before making the decision to do anything.
So when how do you if, if a woman walks in on her husband with another woman in their matrimonial home, what do you tell that woman? How should that woman handle herself?
You can't tell somebody how they should handle themselves because we're not that person. Again, we don't know what we would do in that instance. We don't. That's where crime of passion truly happens because you walk in, you're distraught, you get to throwing things. It's a crime of passion. You are blinded. One of the things that I have discovered is there are only two irrational emotions. There are only two. Follow me, people. Anger and love. Those are the only two irrational emotions that ever existed because you do some of the most irrational ish when you are in love. You allow things to happen that you normally wouldn't tolerate. When you're angry, you do things that you normally would not do, or you say things that is so far out of pocket that you don't need, all because you're hurt.
Mhm.
So, with these two irrational emotions, you have to think you are experiencing both of them. You walk in, you see your mate, your spouse, your loved one in your house, in your bed, doing the mattress mumbo
Mhm.
with another individual. Automatically, you're going to be angry. You're going to be hurt. You're going to feel disrespected.
Mhm.
Your reaction is your reaction. It is pretty much a primal instinct. What do you do?
Mhm.
Me personally, again, these are things that I personally don't feel egregious to. I'd walk in and be like, damn,
Yeah,
okay.
I know you do that.
So this what we doing, this the game we playing. And I'm gonna smile. Okay, so this is where we at. Okay. Y'all enjoying yourself? Is it good? Oh, okay. Well, y'all can go ahead and finish, and when you're done, make sure you take the sheets off. Please put them in the washer. And then after that, you can pack your belongings and you can take it with you. It was such a nice journey. Thank you so much. And then I'm gonna call my best friend and I'm gonna talk to her on the phone where they can hear me. So they're, of course, they're not going to finish
Mhm.
because I'm gonna be so loud and rude and ignorant, but at the same time, and then I will process my loss because I didn't mean that much to you for you to bring another woman into a home.
Okay, so somebody would say, especially my sisters in Africa, would say endure because that's always our national anthem. The
Do what?
endure
What?
the relationship, endure the
Absolutely.
man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
if your husband, if you catch your husband with another woman, our older women will say, or your parents will say, oh no, go back to your husband's home. Don't leave your husband. You are not the first person. Endure. Marriage is all about endurance. So
No, that is not what marriage is about. Marriage is about respect. That's what marriage is about.
mm,
Marriage is about respect on both ends. I chose you and you chose me for us to spend an eternity
mm,
together, the rest of our lives together. Now, I guess this is where the cultural differences come in
mhm,
because as an American woman, the only thing I'm going to endure is this divorce. Because again, you committed adultery.
mhm,
You brought another woman into our home, into the sanctity
mhm,
of our home. Where was the respect?
mhm.
If you're going now, I can understand enduring if this man cheated outside of my home, then maybe I would be more willing to listen and accept. But once you allowed this person to cross the threshold of my sanctity, my home is my peace.
Mhm.
That is the one place in on this planet where I am free to do me, be me. I am free to feel safe. You bring someone else in my home, the safety is gone,
Mhm.
the security is gone. You have now violated, you have crossed every boundary that is set. You have no respect for a man or woman to bring another individual into their home that they share with someone else. That is a complete violation and disrespectful.
So I had a conversation with one of my friends. He's a male. He was telling me that men are animalistic in nature. Men are conquerors. That if you look at lions, lions like to protect their territory. Like animals like to have different mates. So that men are the same. So that women should understand that this is how men are wired. That men like to, deep here and deep here and deep there. So my
And
question,
women aren't.
that's my question. So if men are allowed to deep here and there, what happened to women also?
Um, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And any woman who falls for that is a damn fool, plain and simple. We're all animals. Humans are still considered animals. We may be one of the smarter versions of animals, but we're also civilized. We have evolved from the animalistic nature. Now, I do realize in some cultures that a man having, as they tend to go off of the biblical text or religious text, that a man can have as many wives as he can afford. But in some cultures, there is a culture where women have multiple husbands.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, and everything is ran smoothly. The matriarch runs the country. There are less fights, less wars, less everything, less violence. However, a man using animalistics, yes, a lion has a pride. The women do the hunting. They lay around lazy. So in this economy,
Yeah, that's surprising.
are
Most
you
animals
going to have,
women do, and the female animals are the ones that the
Do the
lioness do the
the
hunting.
lioness do the
Yeah.
hunting? The men lay around all day,
Yeah.
come and eat, and then if something happens, they protect. But even in the wild, the women still do most of the protecting as well.
Yeah.
So a male lion is useless.
Ah.
Let's look at wolves. A wolf imprints, they share one mate for their entire lives. Period. A wolf pack operates because they have the strongest man is not in the front. The strongest male is in the back to protect the pack from what comes from behind.
Yeah. Wow.
We can see what's coming forward, ergo, everybody can attack, but we can't see what's behind us. So when a man sits there and bring up the animal kingdom, of course, I can rebuttal. I have quite a bit of rebuttal. Here's another one. The male seahorse carries the baby. They are the ones that give birth. So does that mean that since we're animals, you gonna start walking around carrying these babies? So no, that is not logical. We're humans. We have evolved from living in animalistic nature. And just like men like to thump around, who's to say the man that I married, you don't sexually satisfy me, so now I'm supposed to suffer while you get to spread your little ding dong all over the place, and I'm not supposed to be sexually satisfied? Now, here's something that we as women don't understand. We don't really get our full potential sexual maturity until we get in our late 20s, 30s. Because again, as kids, when we in America, most kids start having sex between the ages of 15 to 17. They lose their virginity. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what sex is supposed to feel like, or even more so of what they like. Because again, in the home, this is not discussed.
Yeah.
Sexual encounters are not discussed to kids to find out exactly what they like sexually, because they're not doing it. But once they become sexually active, they don't want to talk about this with their parents because it's embarrassing. So how did they find out about sex? They read about it. They talk about it with their friends. They're watching porn. They're experimenting. So as they continue to experiment as a woman, we don't fully come to our full sexual potential until late 20s, early 30s. That's when we start to sexually develop and know what turns us on, what do we like, what is good, what is bad. We listen to societal norms and what is deemed to be perversive, like pissing on or urinating on someone. Oh, that's disgusting. But if that's what you like, that's what you like. There is a path for everything. May not be my path, but I can't sit there and say you're disgusting because you like to be peed on. I can't say you're disgusting because you like anal sex. I can't say, because all of these things are not sexual deviance. It is a sexual experience. Now, so as we're in these marriages, and most people get married, what, between the ages of 22 to 29. Well, now it's a little later, 26, and you're still trying to find out, like, oh, he gives me all of these things, but we're still evolving as a person. We still don't know what we want, so people tend to grow apart. And in growing apart, what happens? You're finding things that you like, and you no longer this person who grew. Y'all grew separately. They like this, and you like this. Boys peak early in sexual. They know what they like because all they have to do is put this in there, and that feels good. Oh, I like to get my head. I like some head. I like this. I like that. But women, we have a more intricate system.
Yeah.
So if it's okay for you to go around and flop around, why isn't it okay for me?
So let me ask you this question. I want somebody discussed this with me 2 weeks ago. When she got married, she didn't know her husband was real sick. They got married anyway. So it's been like 10 years. She has not had any sexual encounter with her husband because of his sickness. So she feels like, or she felt like her husband deceived her by not telling her the truth. So the Bible says for better for worse. Is it for better for worse? Or yeah, for better for worse, but I don't know if the Bible says that or it just we human beings that brought that up. So my question, the question she asked me was, how is she supposed to satisfy her own needs also without being looked upon as somebody who, oh, you're not there for your husband, is for better for worse. She said she only enjoyed being with the husband only like a year. After that, it's been sickness upon sickness upon sickness. And the husband makes sure like she doesn't talk to any man, she doesn't do anything, and still doesn't ask for her. How are you doing sexually? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So she has.
There are other things sexually that they could do, even for him, to please his wife. That's where it comes in. Is there are tools that he can use.
Yeah.
There are toys that he can use. He can buy. There's medical attention that he can get for his ED. Like they have this rod that they can implant in his penis, and he can pump it up, and that way, and it'll get hard. And then all he has to do is bend it or release the air in the tube to go soft. And he will still be able to come, and she will still be able to as well. He can give her oral sex, be very extremely intimate, and she can use toys. He can buy what is those extendo dildos, or he can buy a strap on. There are other things that they can do sexually for him to please her, for them to be intimate. But their marriage is based on a lie. If he knew he was having erectile issues and did not inform her, period. So he pretty much null and voided the marriage because the marriage is based on a lie. But then there's the ultimate thing is, baby, you can leave or you can cheat. Those are your options.
How do a woman deal with a man who talks her down? A man who, okay, take for instance, a lady wanted to go back to school. The husband was like, you can't, I don't want you to go to school. I don't want you to, you didn't come to this country to go to school. I didn't bring you here to go to school. You shouldn't go to school, just get a job. So the woman started going to school anyway. So one day she found out that she saw in the man's email, the man was encouraging his ex-girlfriends to go to school. That, this world is nothing without education. America is nothing without education. When the woman finds that out, she felt like, why are you encouraging your exes to go to school, and your wife, you're not encouraging your wife to go to school? How do you think, how can that woman move forward knowing that her husband is
she can't. There's no way she is gonna be able to move forward. She no longer respects him. A marriage cannot operate and work. Now you can stay there, but it ain't a marriage. Because once you lose sight of that respect and that love, well, to be honest, he doesn't value his woman.
Yeah.
And now that she see that she has no value to him, how can you love someone else?
Yeah.
That's going to be a loveless marriage.
Yeah.
You can't, some things you just can't unsee. It's like if I took this glass bowl here, right? And I throw it on the ground. It's broken now, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what if
Mhm.
I sat there and took my time and put all the pieces together? Would you be able to eat? And I super glued all of it. Would you be able to eat off that glass?
No,
Why not?
because it's broken.
It's still
yeah,
unsafe.
yeah, yeah.
That's the same thing. He broke it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, it's the glue, but it's not the same. Her feelings are never going to be the same.
Mhm.
She is never going to be able to look at that person
Mhm.
the same way ever again.
Mhm.
And that the trust is gone. Her heart has been broken. She now knows how he views her. So how can I continue to
Yeah.
be with you?
Yeah.
You hold no value to me.
How do you deal with a man who, a boyfriend or a husband who doesn't wish you well? How do you deal? The reason why I'm asking this question is because when the children are involved, it's not that easy to just uproot yourself out of that marriage. When you have children involved, if you're by yourself with the man, it's a little bit easier. How do you stay in an abusive
You don't.
marriage?
You do not. I don't care. There are in America,
Mhm.
there are so many programs
Mhm.
that help abused women,
Mhm.
especially women with children.
Mhm.
They have programs where the woman and the child can live there and they are protected. They will relocate them.
Mhm.
So no, you don't have to deal with abuse.
Mhm.
He is not the end all be all. No, you're not this useless. No man ever. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what a weak man. Those are weak men.
Yeah.
And weak men, what happens? They need to make you feel less
Yeah.
to build
Made
themselves
them,
up.
yeah.
So no, ma'am, no, ma'am, you do not have to stay. I'm gonna take my spectacles off so you can see my face. You do not have to stay. Leave. Because the abuse that you endure, trust and believe, will translate to your children. And your children will also have consequences of that abuse. Even if he never hits them or never talks bad to them watching him treat you will translate to mental health issues for them in the future.
Mhm. Yeah.
You don't stay.
Yeah. How do you deal with in-laws when there are in-laws that,
Monster in law.
yeah, they just don't like the woman, no matter what the daughter-in-law does, no matter what she does, the mother-in-law never loves the daughter-in-law. How? Now you're married to your husband, you can't leave because of your mother-in-law, and your husband always goes to his mom, mommy, this happened, mommy. So how do you deal with that woman and also be respectful to your husband? Okay, you sleeping?
Okay. I knew this question was gonna come up. You don't. You don't.
Or you can, how do you then, how do
Okay,
you
let me ask you a
stop the
question.
mother-in-law from
You
coming?
don't. What, is she coming to your house?
Some of them live in your house, or some of them don't live, or they.
Absolutely not. One of us gotta go. As a woman, and me personally, I will tell anyone, I am a tyrant.
Mhm.
I am the worst kind of person to piss off because not only am I a tyrant, I am petty. I am so petty. I take petty to a whole nother level. If a man is running to his mother, the very first thing, now I'm not a very religious person, but I am very spiritual.
Mhm.
In the Bible, it says, a man who finds a wife finds a wife, finds a good thing.
Yeah.
He forsakes all other for
Yeah.
this woman.
Yeah.
That means your mama got to go, bro.
Yeah.
She got to go. I understand. And again, I am a very family oriented person.
Mhm.
Now, my in laws recently moved in with me and my
Oh, they're
cousin.
moving. Okay.
My mother in law is not a monster in law. We get along very much fine. She's treated me like a daughter since day one. Have we
Mhm.
always gotten along? Probably not. But it's never been a level of disrespect. My husband doesn't run to his mother for every little problem either. Because if he did, we would have never gotten married.
Mhm.
I I love a good mama's boy,
Mm-hmm.
but that mama's boy has to have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my son comes to me about everything.
Mm-hmm.
He talks to me about every single thing. But again, I'm not a monster-in-law either. I don't get in between. If him and his girlfriend are going through situations, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're gonna do, and I'm not gonna be biased. Yeah, that's my son, but my son is also human and he makes mistakes. He know how he was raised. I would probably be harder on my son than I would the girl because I know how he was raised and
Mm-hmm.
he was raised better. The same thing with my daughters. I'm even killed.
Mm-hmm.
So as it pertains to in-laws, I'm not tolerating any of that. You married me. You married me. You knew what you were getting when you married me.
Mm-hmm.
The same with me marrying you. However, what I won't tolerate is disrespect. What I won't tolerate is being disregarded. What I won't tolerate is you putting someone over me. Like one of the main questions that I've seen on social media is who comes first? For a man, is it
Mm-hmm.
your daughter, your siblings, your wife, your mother? And I'm seeing people saying their mother and their daughters first. Oh, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your ever loving mind? Absolutely not. Your wife comes first. In my life, my husband knows my husband comes first. Why? Because my father has lived his life.
Yeah.
He's off doing his thing. My kids are eventually going to become adults. You and I created this.
Yeah.
We created this family. Before these kids, it was you and I. Now, while my kids are there, of course, their needs come first, but on a scale like when my children were babies, when I cooked dinner, I would fix their plate first, and then I would make my husband's plate, then I would make mine. Why? They're babies. They need to eat. They don't eat as much. I need to ensure that they get their portions
Mm-hmm.
because they're growing and need to be healthy. Now, when my children became preteens and they were older, at a
Your
certain
husband comes
age,
first.
my husband's plate got out first.
If not, they're gonna finish your plate. They're
My
gonna finish the
husband's plate,
pot.
then I would fix my kids' plate, and then I would
Okay,
make
man.
mine. I always ate last. Now that my children, but when they became late teens, like between 16 and older, I made his plate, I made my
That's
plate,
it. And
and
then
I got the
whatever.
hell out of the way. But that's what it was. But outside of them being babies and infants, their plates came first, but my husband has always come first. So in a marriage, your wife comes first. Now, if you picked a wife that does not like your children from a different marriage, then you picked wrong.
Yeah.
If you picked a woman who is insignificant or you just like the way she looked, then you married wrong. And if you can choose your wife, your parents, and your children over your wife, then bro, you need to reevaluate your life.
Yeah. Yeah. How do we? Some women, I see this more often. Women choose their boyfriends over their children.
Mhm.
When they come in a relationship with their children, the children that do not belong to the new man, they choose their men over their children. Take for instance, one of this girl, I used to do her hair. A little while, I didn't see her no more. So one day I saw the mom. I asked the mom, I said, "Where is my baby girl?" Oh, she thinks she's doing this, she thinks she's this, she thinks she's that. She's no more in the house. She didn't tell me what the full story was. 2 or 3 months later, I saw the girl pregnant. I called her into the shop. I said, "Come in. What happened?" She said, "Miss Jane, the the mom's boyfriend was touching her, was molesting her." She told the mom. Instead of the mom to pick a fight with him, she picked a fight with her. The police, the government had to be involved. They took her out of the house. Now she's pregnant with the boyfriend. She said if she was living with her mom, she probably wouldn't have been pregnant. So what do you say about women taking their boyfriends over
Trifling,
there?
trifling, trifling. Because here's my deal.
Mm-hmm.
As a mother, you made that choice. You made that choice to have sex. You made that choice once you found out you were pregnant
Yeah.
to have this child,
Mm-hmm.
these are your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew you was pregnant and didn't want a kid, you should have gotten rid of it,
Mm-hmm.
whether by means of abortion or adoption,
Mm-hmm.
either or. Because I am pro-life, I
Mm-hmm.
am pro-choice, I'm pro whatever is best for
Good
you.
for you. Yeah.
You decided to raise this child. You decided to keep this child only to be mistreated by you. You feel that this man is so special, significant. But it also goes into the teachings of back in the day, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even I guess back in Africa, is you need a man. No woman should be left alone. You need a man. For
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so if I need a man, I need a man that's a sexual deviant. I need a man who's a pedophile. I need a man who lacks respect for me to think that my child is up for grabs. I don't need that man.
Yeah.
I may need, just like I need a job. I don't need this job, but I need a job
Mm-hmm.
because my bills require money. I get money from working.
Yeah.
No, women like that trash, trash, and they need to be held accountable as well as that man. If that man is a pedophile, then she needs to be charged as well because you knew something was happening to your child and you did nothing to protect it.
Yeah. Well, so that the woman might say, the woman might say, okay, my ex-boyfriend is somewhere with another woman doing whatever the hell he wants to do with his life, and I'm stuck with these children here. Why can I not do whatever I want to do with my life since the father of these children are also doing whatever he's doing with his own
Again, that was your choice. Here's the deal. We know who we're laying down with.
life? Hmm.
You knew he was an egg-ish dude when you laid with him.
Hmm.
And sometimes, yeah, they can put up this facade and we have on these rosy rainbow colored glasses to see what
Hmm.
we want to see. But at some point in time, he showed you who you were and
Hmm.
you did not believe it. Now, if you feel that he's off living his best life,
Hmm.
and you want to live your best life, you have options, you have choices. A, put the child up for adoption. B, put the child up for adoption.
Hmm.
C, make the sacrifice because these are the consequences of your actions. Because again, as a mother, when I had my children, I made the choice to be a different kind of mom from my mother.
Hmm.
I did not have a traditional raising. My parents did not raise me. I knew who they were. My father was in prison by the time I was 5, and my mom decided that she was like, to hell with this. I don't want to be a parent. I want to live my best life. So she did. She took us to North Carolina and abandoned us, just up and left. They knew we were staying, but we didn't. Me and my younger sibling, we didn't know. We didn't realize, I didn't realize I had an older sister till I was 10. I thought she was my cousin, right? So, and I endured a lot of mental health issues, but everybody just labeled me as a bad kid. They was like, oh, Kita's so sweet, but that girl bad. No one wanted to understand what I was going through.
Yeah.
Abandonment issues, trust issues, being physically abused, being abused all around, sexually, physically, all of that. So as when I became an adult and I had my first kid, now I done sold drugs, I done did a lot of things. But when my daughter was born, I knew in that moment that my entire life has to change because my child deserves better. Now, again, I'm in a new city. I moved here when I was 18, got pregnant when I was 18. And when my mom found out I was pregnant, she kicked me out. I'm in a new city, don't know anything, don't know anyone. And I had to figure it out. So I bounced back. I was homeless for a little bit. Like I would stay with my daughter's father and his mother. His mother hated my guts. um, all of that. And I had to figure it out. And went through relationships. When my daughter was 5, I met my husband. Well, we met previously, but we decided to get together. I knew he was a good man. My life became a lot more stable then. But with my kid, I made the best decisions that I could. I didn't leave her any and everywhere. I didn't leave her with just anyone. The men that I dated, they never met my daughter. It was no, unless this is going to be something permanent, you're not. So, and I would say in between that time, my daughter may have met 2 people, and those are men that I actually ended up living with. So we're living in the same house. So of course my child is going to be there, but she was in between my house and her grandmother's house, both of her grandmothers. Again, I was very particular about my kid and who she was with. Then when I met my husband, we had more children. So again, same thing. I knew my mental health issues that I suffered. I did not want my husband to have to deal with my mental health issues. So I decided to start closing those doors, working on myself. Being with this man allowed me, because I thought he was one of the most beautiful spirits, right?
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to be unhappy. He didn't deserve to deal with my lashing out and all of that. So that was stuff that I had to work on. When it came to our children, because he had a son outside of the marriage, when it came to our children, we had a blended family. Because of the way that I was mistreated as a child, I could never allow another child to endure that. So when I would spend time with his son, as a family, we would do things. And of course, he would get away with a little bit more stuff than my kids. My daughter, I would buy her a little more stuff because her father wasn't actively involved, but that was my shortcoming. And then one day, him and I sat down and had a conversation. I felt like I could leave this man with my kid. He raised my child as his own. Even now, my daughter's almost 30, and she calls him dad. She knows who her father is. She sees him, they spend time together, but she calls him by his name and called my husband dad because again,
He was there.
always there.
Yeah.
Her father was in and out. So women who choose these men over their kids instead of choosing the family, it's trash. It's trash because there's no way, as a mom, as a wife, as a mother, as a woman, am I ever gonna allow any of my offspring to feel anything but good, but safe and security and protection from anyone. Anyone. Now, if my kids are wrong, I'm gonna tell them, like, baby, you wrong. But don't sit there and make false allegations either. It's all about how you raise. If my daughter, I used to ask my kids often when they went out into the world and came back, baby, did anybody touch you inappropriately? Did I've even asked if their own father had done that to them. And although when he found out, he was upset, he also understood because of my trauma.
I did that.
Yes.
I did that with my daughter too. When she will go over to the father's house, when she comes back, I will ask her, I said, did his friends touch you? Did he touch you? Did his wife touch you?
Yes.
I had to make sure, because I knew the kind of person he was or he is. So let me ask you this question. For women who are advanced in age, who don't have a husband or boyfriend, are there shortages of men?
No, there is no shortages of men. It's a shortage of good men because I don't know what the hell is out here nowadays. But no, there is no shortage of men. What there is a shortage of older women. When you say older, what age?
Let's say let's start from 40.
All right. Men who are single from 40, if they have not previously been married, baby, you need to make sure you do some work.
Mhm.
You better check all the boxes
Mhm.
because they're single for a reason.
Mhm.
But there is someone for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel that there's a shortage. I just feel like the good men were snagged early.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these men decided to be playboys and now they want
Yeah.
to settle down.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, the men that are in their 40s and 50s don't want another woman who's the same age because, again, we don't look like we used to.
Mhm.
We don't have the small ways and the big booty Judies. We're not as active.
Mhm.
The average woman, I am talking about the average American woman, we don't look like we did when we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
We've had kids,
Yeah.
we work, we're eating, we're tired, we're sleeping, we're not taking care of ourselves like we're supposed to. So the men of our age, they're looking like, okay, well, you're beautiful, and okay, well, we're settling, but I don't want you to settle. I want you to look at me and see the beauty that's within me. There are men out here, but the sexually transmitted disease percentage among the higher groups or the older groups, especially like those in the nursing homes, have been high lately. So you definitely want to be safe when dating.
Mhm.
Check all the boxes. Pay attention to the red flags.
Yeah.
They're there. Don't say, "Oh, well, that's a pink flag, girl. You better pay attention to them red flags." That man is single for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, look at, and then your needs are different from 40 when you're in your 40s and 50s than when they're in your 20s.
Yeah.
You're 20, you're still a kid. You're just finding out the world. You're exploring. You don't know exactly what your needs are. Right now at 20, your needs are house, food, car,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
In your 40s, your needs are financial stability,
Yeah.
a home, vacations, because by this time you've raised your children.
Yeah.
So now your needs are different. We're not going off to the clubs and dropping
Yeah,
it like
dropping
it's
it like
hot. No, we're not doing that. We might dip it a little bit like it's lukewarm, but we ain't dropping it like it's hot. We're doing more advanced things like we're traveling. We want to see the world. We want to, um, we're more homebodies. We prefer to cook, put on a onesie, and lay on the couch with a good soup and watch TV and cuddle. Have game night with your friends, stuff like that. But what are the needs that you have that he can meet?
Yeah, so I think I made a video one time about this. I met one of my friends I haven't seen like in years, over 10 years. So when she came to the shop, we were talking. I asked her, "So you have a boyfriend and you have a husband?" She said, there are shortages of men. That's why." So I said, "Well, for me, I've never had any problem attracting men into my life. The problem I have is um the problem they have is keeping me." Yeah, that's the problem they
That's
have.
a problem.
Yeah, they have problem
But
keeping me.
but also too, one of the things that I noticed that is very much trending in today's society is polyamorous relationships.
Mhm.
People are doubling down. Like you'll see a man and his girlfriend, they got a second girlfriend, or fix your face. Fix your face. But that's what they're into. If you have a bisexual woman and a straight guy, and they're like, "Ooh, we could have a third." That I don't look down on it. I don't. I think it's a great concept financially because if you guys have kids together and you pooling all of your resources together, that's a 3 income home at this point.
Yeah,
You can buy land, you can build houses.
That's not gonna work for me.
No, not for you. I did not say for you. I'm just saying, you said, was there a shortage? There is no shortage. People are just getting more creative with relationship status because if you look at, okay, take me and my husband, for example. We're both licensed therapists. We have our own private practice. We make pretty good money. I don't need a third income. However, if let's say
maybe you need a third
sake of argument,
woman.
we get a second woman, right? She can do all the things that I don't want to do.
More than lungs.
She can do all the things I don't want to do. If he wants to have sex tonight, and I'm just like, look, go to sleep. Go read a book. Go eat a sandwich. She like, well, I'm up. Oh, you know what? Y'all go right on ahead. I'm gonna turn over.
But that always,
no.
it turns out
It
bad.
doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
If everybody's on the same page. Again, I'm not saying that's what I want or what I'm looking for, but I'm also saying I'm not opposed to it. Whatever works for the community. Because I do know some poly relationships that have worked for years. I really do. And I'm like, hey, y'all still rocking. She's like, girl, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they actually all live in one house.
That's like a polygamy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is exactly like polygamy.
Yeah.
Except they all sleep together.
Yeah.
In polygamous families, they
They're
have
separate.
they're all separate, and the man gets to go around. But in this instance, they all sleep in one room. They have several businesses that each one of them run, like all of their money, and they're all three highly intelligent, highly prominent people in the community, and they are great at what they do. I can't knock it if it works for you. It may not work for me, but if it works for you, that's good. They all started at the bottom together and they built each other. Like each one of them, they pulled their money into of course, when they started out, they all had separate accounts and they had the one account that they put as the house account and they just put all the funds in. But they decided to work out an option that works for them. It can work. So when women are looking for a relationship, try seeking alternative means of relationships. Do your research because there's a shortage of good human beings, period.
Yeah, the problem with such relationship is it doesn't always end up the way you anticipated it was going to end up. Yeah, I grew up in a polygamous home. I think that's what I would wish on my enemies.
You said it doesn't always. How many marriages don't always end up happily ever after? So you run the risk. Being in a polygamous relationship runs the risk of ending badly, just like everything else.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not pushing and promoting it. I'm saying there are other options of just monogamy. So now I do realize that there are a lot of women out here who get with men, and these men talk them into having a third party for sexual experience, and the woman isn't even bisexual, not even bi-curious.
Yeah.
And then they're doing this to make them happy, but in the end, they're not.
Yeah.
It is your life, sis.
Yeah.
It is your life. You do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
If it's an experience, something you want, try it. If it doesn't work, okay, fine. But protect yourself.
Yeah. The lady said that there were shortages of men. So my question to her it's 2 p.m. You still have your hair bonnet, your eyes are still crusty, your lips chapping, your eye dusted. How is a man gonna come to you? Her response to me was well, I have a good heart. So I said to her, I said, men have to go through
your heart, sis.
I said, men have to go through your face to get to your heart. She said, well, men, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life then. So exactly. What do you tell women in terms of attracting life?
This is what I'm going to tell a woman. Oh, any woman. You cannot have Walmart pockets and expect Balenciagas. You can't. These females today are ridiculous. Like I'm not going to deal with a basic man. The reason why basic men don't respect basic women is because basic women have made themselves, like sis, you Walmart, then you should be shopping Walmart brand. Don't sit there and be Walmart and expecting you to get some dude with 6 figures like that. It just doesn't operate that way. It doesn't. I hear women all the time say, "Oh no, I need a guy that makes six figures.
Yeah.
He got to drive this
Yeah.
so he can do this, and we can go on vacations. What's this? What are you bringing to the table?"
Yeah.
Because you're on Section 8, you have 3 kids. What man who makes six figures is going to be in the same place as you?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. And the men that look like they make six figures, you're not attracted to. So you would never know that they actually make six figures. You gotta, you have to understand that the pond that you're fishing in, what the fish are.
Yeah.
You can't go to a catfish pond and expect to grab grouper or snapper. It just doesn't make sense. You need to present yourself for what you want. You have to make yourself available to what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And if you coming outside in your bonnet, crust on your face, you still in your pajamas, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you think you're gonna run into your Prince Charming and your fab after? I don't think so. That's not happening. Because even though looks aren't everything, and as we get older, looks fade, you still have to understand that that is the very first thing that they see when they look at you. Now, I'll wear my bonnet. I got a man. I don't care. I will keep my bonnet on all day long. Run out to the store, all that. Go in my pajamas, cool. But in order for me to keep my husband, I still have to present myself.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be every day.
Yeah.
Because there are days when him and I in there and we're in our pajamas all day. And I'll put on a mud mask and he's like, "Oh." I'm like, "What's your face man? Come on, let's do spa day." We do things that bring us closer together. But it's not if we going out and I don't feel like dressing up and he dressed up, oh baby, you can't outshine me.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
We make it a competition. Even for my kids, if my daughter be like, "Ma, I want to go out. Can you go out?" Sure. You want me to be your wing woman? All right, cool. Nah, you can't wear that. We got to change that. I'm gonna make you presentable enough to snag the red snapper you looking for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go too because you are the company you keep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How do you deal with a spouse or a boyfriend who is jealous of you? Take for instance, I was dating somebody before I bought my house. 2 weeks after I bought my house, I kicked him to the curb because I found out that he wasn't happy with my progress. So how are you as a woman? How should you deal with somebody like that? Because for me, it's very easy. Like I said, I don't have a problem getting a man. What problem they have is keeping me because once I find out who you are, I don't be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a pray, I'm a wish, I'm gonna do this." No, I kick you and I keep moving. So and some women have a hard time.
No, there's no hard time. If a man is jealous, I'm gonna be honest with you. If a man is jealous of you, you can't keep him around.
Yeah.
Because they're always gonna want to be in a competition because that's not what a relationship
Or talk you
about.
down. Or talk you down.
You're never gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Or you're never gonna be happy about your own success. So that is a pointless relationship.
Yeah.
Just to keep a man, please. You could buy a man out of the store. They got rubber dolls. But in all actuality and honesty, a relationship isn't about who has more or who has what. It's about coming together and being able to build together. Whatever the case may be. We understand that one of the biggest things that we've gotten away from is that men nowadays don't appreciate the woman. But at the same time, us as women don't give them enough to appreciate. The younger generation is all about what they can get, and us older women, we tend to have these unrealistic standards, and we come with this "I don't need a man"-ish. I can do it myself. When of course you can do it yourself, but why do it by yourself when you don't have to? You don't have to be, "I am woman, hear me roar." like, yes, we understand you're independent, but what happened to appreciating this man?
Mhm.
But if this man is, and we're not raising our sons to be men worth appreciating.
Mhm.
So it is a full cycle. Like, me personally, if I have a dude that's jealous of me, okay, let's talk about it. What is it that you want to do? Like, what is causing you to feel this way? After the conversation, that I can make my decision on whether I'm gonna keep you around. Is there something that you need done, or are you jealous that I'm motivated? Instead of you being jealous and envious, how about we work on you to get you to where you can work hard?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the problem I have sometimes is, like my first book I wrote, the Women's 10 Rules for a Happy Life. The one of the rules there is never date a broke man. So I had a discussion with somebody, and the person was saying that the man you meet today that is poor, he might be rich tomorrow. And I told him, I said, I don't have any doubt about that. The problem we don't have a problem helping a man to get where he wants to get in life with us. The problem we have is forcing a man, because we can help you write your application, we can drop you off at your job, we can even bring lunch for you, but we can't make you keep your job.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the
Can't
problem we
motivate.
have. A man who is not self-motivated. You
So
have
instead of saying don't date a broke man, say never date a man who don't match your energy.
energy. Okay.
That's different.
Okay.
Because when me and my husband got together, and neither one of us had nothing.
Nothing.
He had
Okay.
absolutely nothing. And I prayed to God for me to find a man that has absolutely nothing so that we can build together. And
But he was willing. But there are men,
that's what I
men,
mean. He was broke financially. However, he was motivated
to
for more.
for more. There's somebody I used to date, several of them. I used to talk to maybe in 2014, 15, 16. About three of them till this day, they're still the same person they were when I used to talk to them.
Because
And that was why I
they
stopped talking
didn't
to them.
match your energy.
But they want to date me so badly. Oh, Jen, can we go out?
Of course. Okay. What does a leech want to do? Suck your blood, don't they? They're parasites. What does of course the parasite wants to latch on and suck you dry. That's what they do. And then they'll leave you and suck someone else dry. No. Again, you want to find someone that matches your energy. My husband matched my energy. Now we're completely opposites, but we're yet the same person. Like, it's crazy. I'm very loud and
he's mellow down.
Mellow,
He's my brother.
Quiet. Most people like him and not me. But
well, I like you. I still like you, but I love my brother.
Exactly. He's always like, they love us both, but he's the favorite. He is a flashy dresser. I tend to dress.
Really, you?
Yes.
Not those pictures I see.
This is how I dress on a regular basis. Really low key down. Like, I don't wear like a lot of bright colors. I do have it, and I do wear it sometimes, because sometimes I feel like flashing lights. But he's really flashy and always look really good when he leave. Me, it depends on how I feel. I don't care. I'm literally low key. I like the grunge look, the bum look. But we're different. But when it comes to progress, when it comes to business decisions, when it comes to work ethics and all of that, he matches my energy. He does. So when it comes to dreams and aspirations and raising a family, we match energy.
And that's what we're looking for. It's not a man sleeping. Like, I have problem when some women have boyfriends who sleeps more than they wake up. Like, somebody I know
and play video games.
Somebody I know, she went and moved her boyfriend in who doesn't have a job. And I was like, I mean, your house is renovated. What is this man going to do in your house? Oh, yeah, I just love him in my house. Come to find out, when she goes to work, he will drop her work. When he comes back home, he's playing video games, he's talking to other women on the phone. He kicked her out. Later on, she went and brought him back all over again to the house. And 3 months later, she kicked him out of the house, because I told her, I said, I told you, he didn't have a job when you met him. You moved him in. You think he's going to have a job now that he's living in the house that's already furnished, and you walking, you cooking food for him, you buying whatever he needs. So that's how the relationship broke. So women, like she said, get men who match your energy.
Stop trying to stop trying to build a bear.
Yeah.
Stop trying to play Mr. Fix It.
Yeah.
If that man does not come equipped with certain things, it's not for you to fix. Stop getting these projects. Women, stop thinking you can change a man because you can't.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to change that man is that man.
Yeah.
And if he sees you as valuable enough for him to change.
Yeah, he will change. Yeah, he will change. Any more last word?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, we'll talk to you next time. Maybe I don't know when she's gonna come again. I have to cook real African food for her to come to the house again to do this. I enjoy it. I'm not a for soup. Thank you for coming. We'll talk to you next time. Bye. Yes.